Immigrants are frequently the target of criminal activity, particularly undocumented immigrants who are seen as vulnerable because they may be less likely to seek help from law enforcement agencies out of fear that they may be deported or placed into removal proceedings. Also, it's known that a lot of undocumented immigrants don't have access to bank accounts or credit cards, and so possibly they'll be carrying more cash with them, also making them more subject to criminal activity. In recognition of this, and in an effort to get these victims of crime to come forward, Congress has enacted several options for survivors of these criminal activities so that they can possibly seek immigration relief in the United States. Over the next few videos, we'll explain what some of these options are, including U visas, T visas, and VAWA, and how you or someone you care about may qualify. A U visa is an option for victims of certain qualifying crimes who have been, are being, or are willing to be helpful in the investigation and or prosecution of that specific crime. If you're applying for this, you also have to be able to establish that you have suffered substantial physical or mental abuse as a result of the qualifying criminal activity. If you're applying for this kind of visa, you have to be able to establish that the criminal activity is one that is specifically listed in the regulations, or at least similar to that. So for example, some of the listed crimes include felonious assault or false imprisonment, rape, sexual assault, kidnapping, trafficking, and a long list of others. So just make sure that you're checking out that list of the specific crimes. I'll provide a link below so that you can access all of those to see if the criminal activity of which you are a victim qualifies. And as we mentioned, you have to establish that you have been, are being, or are likely to be helpful in the investigation and or prosecution of the crime. The way to do that is to submit an I-918 Supplement B form, which is a certification form that can be filled out by law enforcement agencies or by judges, prosecutors, other federal agencies, so that they can show that you have in fact been helpful in the investigation and or prosecution of this listed crime. Remember also that if you're applying for this type of visa, you have to be admissible to the United States in order for it to be approved. If you aren't admissible for some reason, so for example, maybe you don't have a current valid passport, maybe you entered the United States without inspection or admission, then what you can do is file for a waiver. In this situation, it's a Form I-192 waiver to waive those grounds of inadmissibility. If your application is ultimately approved, then what you get is a 4-year U-nonimmigrant status, which includes a 4-year work permit for the duration of that status. Then, 3 years after receiving that status, so long as you have remained continuously in the United States for those 3 years, you can apply for permanent residency status. If you, the applicant, is 21 years of age or older, then you can also petition for your spouse and any children that you might have. Now remember, those children, in order to qualify for children under immigration law, must be unmarried and under the age of 21. If you are under the age of 21 years old, then you can also apply for your spouse and your children, but you, in addition to that, can apply for your parents and any unmarried siblings that are under the age of 18. This option for U visa or U status is really an incredible option for a lot of individuals that are in the United States, in status or not in status, if they've been the victims of criminal activity. Because it's such a great option, there is a very long wait list to get approved. So under the regulations, only 10,000 of these can be approved per year, and that's 10,000 primary applicants. The derivative beneficiaries are not included in that count. So with only 10,000 that can be approved per year, there's now a wait list of well over 100,000. So it can take a long time for these to be approved. The good news is that while you're waiting for this long process to play out, you will be eligible for what's called a bona fide determination. And if you receive that, you'll get this letter saying that you qualify for bona fide determination, and with that, deferred action, meaning that you are allowed to be in the United States for the duration of this process. With that, you can also apply for an employment authorization, and you are allowed to continue to renew that so long as your application is pending. That's U visas in a nutshell. Thank you for watching. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you have any questions specifically about U visas, please post them in the comments below so that we can talk about them in future episodes. And remember, soon we'll have other videos coming out about different options for survivors of criminal activity in the United States.